What's up guys, Bluddshed here, bringing you a quick Primal Ancient update for patch 2.5 in Season 10. Now, one of the community managers for Blizzard posted about Primals in an upcoming PTR patch. He said, as previously mentioned, getting your feedback on Primal Ancients has been super helpful. Along with this, we'll be making some changes to how these items work in an upcoming PTR patch. Here's where it gets good. They actually are changing the power increase on primals. Okay, so specifically he said rather than increase the power they give you beyond ancient items, Primal Ancients will now instead roll perfect ancient level stats tailored to the character you're playing when the item first drops. So just with this statement alone, it's like they're not going to get the 30% increase, they're just going to be max level ancients. So they're not really Primal Ancients, but I guess we're calling them Primal Ancients. It's almost like, hey man, you rolled a max level Ancient, or whatever you want to call it. That's we were talking about on stream today, and that's pretty much, it's Primal-ish, I guess. They did also say that they're tailored specifically to the class that you're playing when the item first drops. It's kind of weird, like how would you know, like if monks, for instance, switched from fire to cold damage mid-season, like how would they know what we need and things like that? I don't know how that's going to work out. If the upcoming PTR patch means today on the PTR, we're going to stream it, test it, and I'll report back to you guys with, future results. He then says, re-rolling any of these items at the Mystic, Primal Ancients, right, will also yield only perfect rolls. So if you look at this Ingeom here, you can see what it rolled, and you can see if you hold control down on your item, you can see the max ranges that it can roll. So for instance, if it rolls Primal Ancient, the primary damage will always be 1940. It'll always roll 10% damage or 1000 intellect. It's always going to be max rolls. Even if you go to the Mystic and reroll something, it's only going to be max rolls. As far as the secondary, like the orange text, the orange affix portion, they didn't really go into detail, but I'm assuming that's going to always be max level as well, because you can get like an Ingeom that's garbage with an 8-second one instead of a 10-second one, or like a Bakuli belt or a Convention of Elements that's 150 instead of 200. So I'm assuming everything's going to be ancient. Again, we're going to report, we're going to do testing, and I'll get back to you. But this is what we know. So first impression is that they changed it so dramatically, but at least we're getting them to some capacity. But again, this is the PTR, so there could be a third iteration of the item, a fourth iteration of primals. The next season shouldn't start till around mid-April if they stick to their classic 3-month, thing. So we don't know, but this is what the current iteration is. He said, along with this, these items will be even more rare than they currently are. Now, the community pretty much said that primals were about a 1% drop. We personally rerolled 1,000 Primal Ancients, the old Primal Ancients, right? And I was getting about 2 for every 100 rerolls, like upgrading rares in the cube, the Hope of Cain recipe. So if it's 1 to 2%, apparently it's going to be more rare than that to get these. Okay, so on top of this, you won't even be able to get Primal Ancients until you complete a GR70 solo, and you have to do separate unlocks for hardcore and softcore characters. I would imagine that when a new season starts, you would have to unlock it every single season if this change stays in. I don't really see the point having it gated behind some 70 clear. Doesn't really make sense. I don't see the reasoning. Hopefully they give us some kind of reasoning behind it. So yeah, I mean, you start the season, you get your Haedrigs, you grind up. As soon as you clear that 70, then you can be getting your Primal Ancients to drop. But they're literally just perfectly rolled normal ancient items. So I'm not sure. They're super rare too, so I don't know, man. I don't know the reasoning. And finally, he says, we hear you guys. You want ancient and Primal Ancient items to salvage into something more valuable. With an upcoming PTR patch, ancient items will salvage into 3 Forgotten Souls, and Primal Ancients will salvage into 15 Forgotten Souls. Yay for reforging. Exactly. This is a welcome change here. I kind of would like Primal Ancients to do like 15 souls and maybe 15 DBs. I don't know. I feel like Primals need more identity. They need to be more like, maybe you can re-roll every single stat on a Primal to perfectly tailor to your liking, as opposed to an Ancient. You kind of get what you get. You can only re-roll one thing, or maybe primals always have sockets. I don't know how it's going to work. We're going to test it again. Anyways, guys, that's going to be all for me today. That's all they really talked about. It was just one blue post about Primal Ancients. Again, I'm going to keep you guys updated as much as possible. You know how we do here at Bloodshed Gaming. Big shout out to all the patrons out there. Because of you guys, I was able to buy a DSLR camera. So expect new content coming in the future for the channel. Upgraded quality and all that stuff. Thank you guys so much for that. Make sure to follow me on Twitter down below in the description. Twitch.tv/bloodshed. And I'm out of here. Peace.